Hey, this is Ryan from Razzle. Today I'm reviewing Terminator Genisys. Terminator Genisys is directed by Alan Taylor. It stars Jai Courtney, Emilia Clarke, Jason Clarke, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So here we go. So if a couple of months ago you saw our trailer review of Terminator Genisys, you could probably see I was not too excited about this movie. Like, I did not have very high expectations walking in. The movie just looked, to me, watching the trailers, it just looked generic and it looked boring and it looked like it was rehashing a lot of things, and that's just stuff I didn't like. It just didn't look interesting. It didn't look like it just didn't look that good to me at all. But when I watch movies, I like to go in and be its #1 fan right away. When I sit down, I like to root for the movie like a cheerleader. I want movies to succeed. When I sit down, I don't want to waste my time, or my money or anything. I want to sit down and I want to enjoy a movie when I sit down, so I'm rooting for it as I go in. I basically leave my expectations at the door when I'm going in to see the movie because, I want to be able to experience and give them a real chance, no matter what I've seen in the marketing. Sometimes I get surprises, like Edge of Tomorrow was one of my favorite movies of last year, and then other times you get movies like Terminator Genisys where, yeah, it pretty much was exactly what I was expecting. I'm honestly not going to go into the plot much at all, because it's honestly too convoluted and confusing. Most of it went over my head because it just was so, it just was confusing, and it was so the movie was so far up its own butt that for the most part, at the halfway point, I just gave up, and now this movie's just gonna hit me in the face. There's a movie in front of me. That's basically what happens. I'm just gonna get the positives out of the way right away, because I think mostly I'm just gonna talk about negatives. I guess I'll say Arnold Schwarzenegger was charming, and I thought, he was the best part of the movie, not surprising to me. I'm happy I saw him in the movie. Alright, let's move on to the negatives. Like I said in the beginning of the video, whenever I go into a movie, I like to leave my expectations at the door. When I walk in, I want to root for the movie. I want the movie to succeed. And same with a lot of the actors as well. I like to root for the actors. Jai Courtney is... I'm having a hard time anymore, honestly. There's not a single performance I've seen him in any film at all where I've even thought he was decent or even just passable. He... in this movie is so flat. It might even been a lot of the writing as well. His character and his acting in this film is so flat and so just uninspired and just total... I have total disinterest in his character because it just lacked development. He was just the soldier guy with no personality. He didn't appear to really have any real flaws or anything. He was just a character that we were supposed to root for based on nothing. So, Emilia Clarke plays Sarah Connor in the film. She's okay. I think what she does with the script is pretty good, I guess. The script is just really bad. I think some of the writing is really bad. So, it's hard to tell, really. I think she does the best she can with the material, so, yeah. In this movie, they are going to absolutely try to force Jai Courtney and Emilia Clarke's character, I'm not going to say my name, they're going to try to force their characters to be in a relationship throughout the entire movie. They're really going to try to hammer into your head that they have any chemistry at all or that they should be together at all, but it does not work at all. It doesn't work at all. As you're watching it, they force it through the entire movie. It's what's driving the movie in a lot of ways. But as I'm watching it, I just can't believe it, and it's just every time I almost feel like I'm gonna cringe every single time that they are trying to force this relationship. That was one of my worst favorite parts of the entire movie. The plot gets so tangled up in itself. I kind of talked about this a little earlier. It just gets so tangled up in itself, trying to make itself make sense and really trying to explain to us why it would make sense, and it just doesn't. Nothing really makes any sense. Like I said, halfway through the movie as I was watching it, I just had to shut my brain off because I just couldn't take it. I was getting a headache trying to figure it out. And then I'm sitting watching a generic action film where the action isn't even all that spectacular or all that great. It's just generic CGI over again, over and over again. Okay, before I wrap this up, I will say there was one more positive, I will say at least. There was one scene in particular in the middle of the film that I thought was really high impact, and it was actually really well done in all ways. The only problem was it was totally spoiled by the marketing team. I cannot believe they pulled a Terminator Salvation where they pulled that huge spoiler for that movie with this movie as well. I cannot believe they did that. It almost ruined the movie, because as the scene was starting to get to that point, I already knew what was going to happen. And if I didn't know that, the scene would have been so much more higher impact, and I think I would have probably gotten behind the movie a little bit more. But because of the marketing team, it actually hurt the movie a little bit. But I don't want to blame the movie for that, because the filmmakers, they're not connected to the marketing team. That's the marketing team's error. So the scene is still great, and it's a shame that it got ruined. But, you know, I mean, at least that scene was good. Now, I didn't mention what the scene was, just in case you haven't seen the trailers, because I don't want to ruin the movie just like the trailers did. You more than likely have, and you more than likely know. But as I was watching the movie, I heard some people in the background gasp a little bit because they were surprised. So I guess you may not know this watching this video. You may not know what the thing is, so I'm not going to say it. That's why I haven't said it, so I'm not going to. So I just do this favor: if you had planned on seeing the movie, don't watch the trailers at all. Okay. But overall, anyway, I wouldn't recommend seeing the movie. It's not good, in my opinion. It just isn't good. It's not good for Terminator fans. It's not good for fans of film. It's just not good. There's some redeeming factors. No, there's small redeeming factors. I guess it's kind of fun at times, but not any more fun than any other movies that are going to be in theaters right now that I would much rather go see again. So, all right, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm done talking about this. It's going to give me a headache. Terminator Genisys. I'm going to give Terminator Genisys a 3 out of 10. So this was Razzle Review. This is Ryan Havens. My Twitter is down there and stuff. You can go see some of our other videos. We have great reviews and trailer reaction stuff. We're going to try to do some more stuff soon. We've been working really hard. We also have a new page on Movie Pilot. You can go check it out. We post articles and stuff there too sometimes. So thanks again for watching. I'm looking forward to reviewing Ant-Man in a couple weeks, or one of us. So thanks very much. Have a good one, guys.